I first wanted to pursue a career, or knew it was a viable option when I was probably 16 and a half. I always, as a kid, wanted to be an AFL footballer and represent Geelong, but it wasn't until halfway through my year 11 year at school that I thought that it was a possibility if I worked on a few things. So it all became a reality, but not through a lot of hard work before the draft. Yeah, it was an amazing experience, and one that I look back at and think of the enjoyment and the excitement levels and the nervousness of all sort of bunched into one. It was my real first experience of feeling that in the one moment. I'd finished school. I was going into a job that I knew I would absolutely love, but still had so much to work on, and I didn't really know any of the players other than a couple. So I didn't know how I was going to fit in. So the emotion of that was unbelievable, and I still sort of at times, even as I start to depart, reflect back on that experience, because ultimately I'm going into a new field of work beyond football and will experience the same thing. So I often sit back and reflect more now, but I always enjoyed the draft process. I never thought about my connection and family connection that much, but the actual connection allowed me to get to Geelong a lot easier, and ultimately Geelong find an easier way to secure me as well. So yeah, it was a fun process. I'd actually had conversations with Stephen Wells before the draft day, a couple of months before, knowing that that I was going to go to Geelong. So the draft day itself wasn't that exciting. It was nice hearing my name being read out, but it was probably nicer hearing Joel Selwood and Nathan Jakura, a young fella from Warrnambool, Simon Hogan, who I hadn't heard of, but the other two I'd met and known a little bit about too. So they've become lifelong friends, both Joel and Simon, and yeah, it was a great day. Stephen was my main point of call at the club. He was really good to me as a young potential father-son. He was I'm not sure what the rules like, but I'd agreed to go to Geelong, but he helped me out in the National Carnival in the June-July school holidays. The first two games we played South Australia and Western Australia, Optus Oval, and down here in Geelong. And then the last game, it was raining, it was really wet, and I didn't actually have a pair of screw-ins. And I'd actually called Wellesley to say, is there by any chance someone that wears a size 13 or 14? Well, I wear 14 now, but also we'll call it 14, pair of screw-ins. And he managed to get a pair of Stephen King, ironically now is a coach, and I played a year with Stephen. He had an old pair of boots that I had actually wore that game. So he was great in my year 12 year, just supporting me through the process and helping me out, but he was so good to me and my family. And after announcing my retirement recently, it was nice to reflect back that he's been the one person here that I've known the longest out of everyone. So he's always been really nice to me. If my memory serves me correct, I'd already been billeted out with the Jenner family in Highton, so I'd been there for 2 weeks, and I'd had a bit of much needed training before the other crop of draftees arrived. But I knew that the first pick in the draft, as I said, my recollection was that the first pick was coming to live at the Jenner's house as well. So when Joel got picked up, I knew him through a mutual friend, Xavier Ellis, who I went to school with, who was one of my great mates. So we'd met and played footy against each other, a couple of times. So I was pretty excited. I'd heard a lot about Joel, and he had a bit of a knee issue leading up into the draft, and I thought if we could steal him at pick 7, it'd be a great result. And I didn't forecast that we would play so much football together and become great mates and still continue to be long after our careers are done. But yeah, it's pretty amazing to be able to be in the system so long, but to be with someone and play so much footy, over 300 games of football with him is pretty incredible.